Live from Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School, it's Varsity Boys Soccer on the DAF Media Network tonight. Class LL State Playoff Qualifier. It's the Darien Blue Wave and the Fairfield Prep Jesuits. Hi everybody, I'm Damian Andrews. So glad you could be with us for this DAF Media broadcast of Varsity Boys Soccer on a chilly night in southwestern Connecticut. Our DAF Media production crew, Andrew Banks, Jack Kelly, and in the back directing is Connor Fagan. The men calling the action tonight for this one, familiar voices to all you DAF Media fans, Eric Cannigan and Lewis Clark. Gentlemen, so glad to have you on the call tonight, and this is a big one for both teams. Come in with identical records. The winner moves on to the first round of the Class LL State Playoffs.
Yeah, Damien, I wish you invited us to a warmer game, but here we are at Darien Stadium Field for a play-in matchup for the state tournament. So, as Damien mentioned, these are two teams with equal records, looking for a play-in for the state tournament to show what they have on the bigger stage. So, Lewis, we should have a good game tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for both teams, so equally matched here. I'm really excited to see what comes of this one. You know, tough night. It's cold out there. You know, we were here last year calling a similar game in a similar temperature, and you know, you really do find out who the Warriors are here and who are the ones that are going to be willing to put their body on the line. Because if that ball's hitting you, it's going to sting. Yeah, that's right, Lewis. And we see early on a strong suit of Darien this season. These set plays as Darien wins a corner early on, and it looks like it is Charlie Sears on this near side putting a ball in. And he's been putting great balls in all season long. You know, Charlie Sears is somebody who you know you can rely on. And Prep on the break here. He's in on goal.
Oh, and a great save. Stop. And I believe that's Will Lehan, who John has given the first half to. I spoke to him earlier today, and he said that he will likely be splitting the time between Will and Thomas Bronca. They have two very strong keepers. But talk about a counterattack from Fairfield.
Deadly. The Wave are going to really have to watch out for that one. Keeper quick off his line, though, and he's now going to turn and set the counterattack for the Wave. Yeah, and that's Jack Hawley using his pace. Looked like a very good tackle there from Fairfield Prep, and the ref agrees that was not a foul. And this is a very quick start tonight, Lewis. Thank God those boys must need something to warm them up, because I'm freezing up here. Absolutely, you got to keep moving around. If you're out there, any stoppage in play, it's when you start feeling it. So you got to keep the blood pumping, moving around.
Yeah, I remember you just mentioned, obviously, if you do get hit with the ball, it does stink quite a bit. What were some of the other standouts you remember playing in some of the cold games? I remember the game at Trumbull, I believe. That one was frigid. How does that impact the players?
It's just another factor to be considering, you know, and making sure that you are constantly staying fresh, and particularly if you're the goalkeeper, you know, you're going to be on your line the entire game, not really move around too much, so you got to make sure that when the ball does come your way, that you're ready.
Yeah, that's right. And I recall personally the muscles kind of tighten up. You almost feel like you're in a different state when you're playing in such cold weather. So it does change the dynamic of things, but early on we've seen a very quick game, and Sears showing a skill there. As McElhose, one of the standout players for this Wave team, looks to be lining up on the left flank.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't mention it right from the beginning, but this is you know, a winner go home. You know, all these guys out here are going to be playing for the seniors tonight, making sure that they're getting another game in this state tournament. So it's a lot on the line here.
Yeah, that's a great point. These seniors are going to want to keep this season going, and this is, you know, as even a matchup as you could have, and a playoff into the state tournament makes these stakes even higher, and the perfect setting for a game like this, a night game at home for Darien. So they're going to be hoping to capitalize on that.
On a night like tonight, it's really just who wants it more. You know, each side's so evenly matched that it's going to be who's getting first to the ball and who's really going for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Darien's tactics play out tonight. I know John mentioned earlier that they're really hoping for Darien's midfielders in this 4-5-1 formation to link up with their forward, Jack Hawley, up top, number 7. They want Jack to stay high and put pressure on Fairfield. Fairfield's standout player is their center back, so again, they want to keep as much pressure on them as possible and keep him under pressure and hopefully create some opportunity. McElhose just playing one long. Jack Hawley using that pace and strength there. Oh, and some good
Great
skill.
turn.
And that should be a penalty, and that is.
And it's a penalty for the Wave.
Jack Hawley, that was so impressive by him to draw that penalty. Again, great strength, great pace to get that initial ball. Very deft touch to get around the Fairfield defender. Used his body well. That was very well played.
The only thing the defender could do there was pull him down. He was gone.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, that might have been a little hasty by Prep's defender. But all in all, we see a penalty for Darien, and Sears is lining up the senior, taking it in his own hands or feet, if you will.
Charlie Sears, how's your nerve?
Have a hit, son.
Tucked away. Cool as you like.
That's a great penalty. He almost knew where the goalkeeper was headed. As we see the replay, he opens his body up and just side foots that one.
It could be the temperature, but he was ice cold.
Oh, God. I was wondering how long it was going to take for one of those, but
as the crowd chants, that's too easy. You know, it's just not going to be that easy the rest of the game. Now they're going to have to really. There's so much energy here that they got to keep carrying out, but it's just all about being focused on this turnaround. You know, it's so exciting getting that first goal, but it's very, very early.
yeah, it's almost a blessing and a curse getting a goal so early. You know, the standard advice is to not become complacent, but it's kind of the natural reaction to do so. So John's going to hope that they build on that pressure. But a big moment for Charlie Sears, and converts it so well.
Settles the nerves too.
Yep, it does. As we see Fairfield with their own opportunity. This is really an end-to-end start. The first 7 minutes here. Darien just looking to get that ball up the fields. And again, you see this Darien midfield pressuring Prep as much as they can. They want to
That's
create
a fantastic
mistake.
ball. Keeper quick off his line, great work from him.
Kudos to Will Lehan there. Quick off his line and effective in doing so.
Now the task is for the team to be joining Holly up top. He's been a bit isolated the past few minutes.
Yep, as we see a good replay there. Just comes off number 33. Langelands for Prep. And another ball over the top. Lehan is wasting no time coming out.
I love the aggression. Another
and I'm loving
here.
these replays. This is a great ball over the top, as you see there, just in between Darien's defenders.
But once again, off his line, there to secure the ball.
And the crowd acknowledging Lehan's impacts early, as they should. He's been a key player so far. Oh,
great touch.
Clever flick from Sears, doesn't quite work out. He's still got a goal to his name, he won't mind. Yeah, and I know we have mentioned that this matchup of two even teams, I believe it's the 33 and 34 seed play-in for the CIAC state tournament. And how is a team rewarded for winning this game playing the #1 seed Glastonbury? So,
and that's a long trip.
Yeah, it is.
That's a long trip up there.
Long trip, and one of the most talented teams in the state. I believe they're the reigning champions for this tournament. So.
Maybe that's the beautiful thing about this game is they can go up there and you just never know. Either of these teams.
I was going to say, you have the opportunity, kind of all bets are off in a situation like that, to upset the #1 seed.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to catch them on the back foot.
Yep.
You know, they're not going to be expecting a tough challenge, but you know these boys can play.
Yep. I could be mistaken, but that game should be on Monday. Prep, I need to keep saying Prep, not Ward. Gets a shot away, but Lehan collects that one relatively easily.
Strong showing here in attendance tonight despite the cold. You know, appreciate everybody coming out to support the high school team here.
Yeah, it's really nice to see as we see the shot from Prep on the replay. As we have some action happening on the left. Jack Hawley again, almost able to draw another penalty there. McElhose and Hawley causing a lot of problems for this Prep defense.
Now it's all going to be how Prep can respond here. You know, going down early, it's not easy, but they've shown some strength right off the bat. Had a couple shots there, that one wide, but before looking a little bit more optimistic with a shot on target.
Yeah, they're just creating opportunities. This is probably one of the more open games I've seen from a John Bradley team. But again, I think this comes down to his tactics and wanting to put pressure on that Prep defense and keep things open, at least in the offensive half. I think he's willing to take a couple of risks on defense if it means some goals for this team.
Yeah, he's confident in his attack, and I think it's really just too early to do anything but that, than to have an open game. It would be far too long to sit back.
Yeah, you're right. And scoring that early again, as we talked about, it's really a mental game at that point. Having to hold on to that lead, you're really almost better off pushing for a second. So we see some good possession play from Prep. They are firing from distance, not holding back.
Yeah, slightly impatient because I think they had some really good build-up play there, and I think he probably could have passed it around a little bit more before taking an audacious attempt there.
It almost looks like they're just trying to catch Lehan off his line, which isn't too uncommon at this level, I have to say. Some of those longer shots, you don't need that much power because the goalkeepers can misjudge them at times, but Lehan is on his game tonight, so.
And having him on his game is going to be key. You know, he said that there's going to be a bit of a goalie switch in the second half, but yeah, he's got to keep it blank this first half, and so far he's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
Off his line again.
That was another ball from Demora of Prep there. Again, they're looking for those longer balls from deep, from Prep's defense. Another great replay. The distance is just about right, but Lehan's been very aggressive that it's not working out for Prep. They may either have to adjust that or go for a different method in terms of attacking towards the net.
I was going to say, Darien's been very organized at the back so far. I'm going to be, interested to see how Prep can unlock them.
Oh,
because they're happy.
How about that?
They're happy to take shots from that distance all day with Lehan playing the way he is.
I'm not sure if we'll get a replay on that. I hope we do, but that was a good effort. That's more of what you want to see from, if you're a Fairfield Prep fan. A lower, more driven effort. Those can easily fly past the goalkeeper. Darien still up 1-0 as we approach the 27-minute mark.
Holly holding up the ball well there.
I was going to say, he's been a standout for this team so far. Obviously, credit for the assist for winning that penalty, but just causing a lot of problems. He's not just in that striker role, he's coming to the left side, dropping back to win the ball, help his team out, showing a lot of energy for a pacey player. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, he looks like he's been kind of given license to roam in the attacking third, which is great to see, and that that makes it difficult for defenders to a lot of times you're focused on one man, but if he's running all over the place, you're not going to be able to stick to him.
Sears with another ball, collected by Prep.
Trying to spring that counter there, but Darien good getting bodies back very quickly.
Yeah. Again, we see another ball over the top. Lehan's off his line. That was almost a tremendous effort. Well, it was a tremendous effort. Almost well executed there.
Struck well, just a little off target.
Again, I believe that was Michael Demora with the initial ball from about the halfway line. Just almost chipping that over Darien's defense. Lehan wasting no time coming off his line, but did leave his goal a little bit vulnerable there. But again, we see Jack Hawley. What a clever flick there. Fortunately, Darien do lose possession. I think we're seeing a little bit of a case here. Darien falling back into the kind of get that ball out mentality, leaving Jack Hawley up on his own. Again, John pre-game said that they do want those midfielders to support Jack Hawley and attack the defense. And I haven't seen too much of that in the past couple of minutes. I don't know if that's a result of them being up 1-0.
Yeah, you saw a bit of Sears and McElhoes getting up there with him, but he's what he's done such a great job of is slowing things down a little bit once he does get the ball. And with that comes the opportunity for some of those midfielders to get up a little bit higher with him. Otherwise, he needs support.
That's right. I think what I've been seeing is Darien's just taking a little too long from the midfield to come up to support. And Hawley almost on an island by himself there. So I do think John might want to address that as McElhoes sees that one out.
What the Wave have done a great job of so far is dropping back once they've been on the attack, but I think that they're going to need to be getting higher to support Hawley. Otherwise, he's going to be it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah.
Prep just continually banging on the door here.
Lehan picks that one up calmly, and they have a few seconds here to reset and get the team upfield. Darien up 1-0. The clock just trickles under 23 minutes on a very frigid night in Darien, Connecticut. So we're getting some use out of DAF's newest addition to the broadcast table, the big lamp that we brought along tonight.
And I will say it's been a tremendous addition. what would we do without it? We'd be stuck with iPhone flashlights. I'll tell you what, I think the lucky ones are the guys out there. I'm looking at some of those guys on the bench, and they look cold.
That's a good point. You see Prep's team all standing up. Not sure if that's in show of solidarity or to stay warm. And Darien's team does look frigid.
All right, I'll let you go.
Yeah, some of them don't even have jackets on. It's like...
And this is one of those games, and it holds true for any game throughout the season, but tonight especially, if you're on the bench and come on as a sub, if you're not warmed up, you're going to feel like you have icicles attached to your leg. It is really difficult to come onto a pitch that's moving full speed after sitting on the bench in the colds. Your muscles are not ready for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it takes you probably about 5 minutes just to get warm once you're in the game before you can really start contributing.
We see Prep with a decent ball across, a little high, but they are winning those headers. However, it goes out for a Darien goal kick. Yeah, we do see some action over there on Prep's sideline warming up. But again, those small warm-ups on the sideline don't really replicate the conditions on the field, so they have to adjust fast.
No, and it looks like there's going to be a couple guys coming in for Darien right now, so they're going to be feeling it.
Yeah, it looks like Liam Flaherty, number 22, and Bennett Dumas, number 11, both coming on for the Wave. We will have the names of those they are replacing in just a moment. So we see kind of a lot of back and forth. It's a bit of a messy period that we've been watching here. No team really has a good foothold, but
most of the game being spent in Darien's defensive third, though, at the moment. Now it's time. All right. I was about to say settle the ball.
So, Lewis, if you're Fairfield Prep, how do you, I guess, approach the remainder of this first half in terms of tactics? Do you think what they're doing is effective? Do they need to change their approach?
I think they just got to keep patient. I mean, they're doing everything right. They're getting the ball in and around the box. They are taking shots when they have them. I think it's about being smart and when you are taking those shots and just trying to be as creative around the box as possible. But I think they're doing everything right. It's just Darien's just standing strong.
Yeah. Again, Sears.
And Sears is going to look for Holly here.
Doing what he does best, and very smart play from number 4 on Fairfield Prep, Ryan Cowles.
Yeah, it's just one of those where when Darien does get the ball, it's just, all right, everybody settle down. And, you know, let's make a couple passes. Let's start stringing those together, and let's see if we can make something and start getting up the field.
Yeah, I think they've been relying a little too heavily on those long balls from defense. But as we see here, they were trying to play in from the sideline.
Or try and find his feet.
Yeah. That too.
You know, and then he can just hold up the ball while the rest of the team's getting up there, because he's done a good job at that so far.
Yeah, I do wish we had the opportunity to talk to Bradley at halftime just to see if he's directed his team to play a bit different since they've got that first goal, because it does look like one of the games of our seasons where you really were just sitting back after getting that initial goal.
Yeah, no, I mean, the game looks drastically different from the first few minutes we saw, absolutely. Now Holly with the ball. Let's see if he can hold up for a little bit.
Yeah, he's been doing very well at finding those pockets of spaces to receive the ball. But again, there's only so much, and that should be a foul there on Holly. And it is. I think just let emotion get the best of him there, but no harm. I would say no foul, but it is. As Prep have another opportunity to launch this ball forward. Sears again in that really effective area, picking up the ball, looking for space. Loose pass there by Darien, intended for McElhose. Now Prep has had an opportunity. Oh. And again, they're relying on these longer efforts, which almost panned out there. When you have so many players in Darien's box, the ball really can deflect anywhere. As a cowbell came from I don't know where. But almost had an opportunity off a deflection, which can happen, but I just don't think that it's the most effective means towards goal.
No, well, they've been having a little bit of a combination of both, but I think they're just getting to the final third and they're struggling to make that final pass, to really put somebody in.
Yeah, and this is kind of the play style that you see fall victim to those Glastonbury's, those top teams, Bunnell, for instance, in the state, who do have a very clear, concise, and effective means towards goal. Another ball over the top. I'm surprised Lehan took so long to come out, but he cleans it up. Along with Holly's first 10 minutes, I would say Lehan here, one of the standouts for this half. He has really made a difference for Darien's team. Safe hands Lehan, I believe.
Safe hands Lehan.
They're calling him as of now.
Aggressive. I love the aggression off the line.
Oh.
Ooh.
Cameron Go there with the forceful header towards his own goalkeeper. Worked out fine, though. Oh, I think he had the opportunity to play him in. And again, back to Demora for a long ball, which Darien can clear effectively. Almost feels like Groundhog Day. We've seen that a couple times now. On good skills from Sears, but
almost gets it out there. Prep just happy to field the long balls from Darien and come right back.
Yep.
It's just rinse and repeat for them at the moment.
Yeah, I think both teams have kind of fallen into their repetitive actions, as we might see a tough challenge there. Prep comes away with it.
Did well to stay on his feet there, the Prep player.
Decent low ball. Darien picks that one out.
And a sub here for Prep.
I believe that's Connor Moore and number 8, James Burris, coming on for Prep. Bradley sharing a word with Linda, his assistant, on the sideline. As Prep might have an opportunity, but again, if you move that net about 10 yards higher, 10 to the right, those shots would be great. Just seeing Prep, they will need to get their foot around that a little bit more. It is good to see that they're taking those efforts. But they need to try and stay over the ball and keep that ball down.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the stats. I love the aggression that they're really going for it here, but
Yeah.
you got to just start getting those on net.
That is a foul from Caruso, number 12 in the midfield, as Prep have a free kick opportunity. I believe it's a little too far to be testing the goalkeeper.
Not safe hands, Lehan. Went for it.
Both referees indicating for a goal kick as we approach the 12-minute mark here at Darien Stadium Fields. Darien boys soccer lead 1-0 over Fairfield Prep on a frigid, to put it politely, night tonight.
And I believe that's McElhose, who just came back into the game. Caught his breath a bit.
Yeah, and I believe Liam Flaherty, number 22, is taking his at least position on the left, and I think McElhose may be playing more central, or I think he is more effective, as Sears lines up an opportunity for this free kick.
Big opportunity. They really haven't been in their half since that penalty, so it's going to be about these key opportunities. It was a great ball.
It was dangerous area, and we saw Prep's goalkeeper almost spill it, but collected it well. As Sears uses his body effectively to see that ball out. Darien have the chance to reset. We see the replay here. Sears curls that ball. Really dangerous position. He almost invited that keeper to come out. But unfortunately, not enough Darien presence in that location to take advantage. That's good play from Prep there to hold on to the ball. Look to switch the fields, utilize that space.
Yeah, patient work. And safe hands, Lee.
Yep. Put another tally mark there for another shot from this Prep side. I think there's a balance, and you alluded to it earlier. There's a balance between getting shots on target and getting effective shots on target. You do want to test the goalkeeper. Obviously, statistics are one thing, but statistics do not win you a game. You really want to challenge the keeper, at least get him on the ground, trying to make a save, potentially getting him to spill the ball.
Mm-hmm. Good recovery. Stringing some passes well here, Prep.
Yeah, and McElhose back into his street sweeper role. Another ball from Demora. Lehan patiently gets this ball back up the fields.
And Prep once again fielding and shoving it right back. Yeah, good switch.
And another ball over the top, which heads towards the corner flag. Darien looking to see that one out. Not quite a corner, but a throw in deep in Darien's half. As we see Paoletta and Newmeyer.
They might have called the corner.
Did they?
Looks like it.
That's a great ball. Darien does well to flick that one out. Demora looks to put that one in. Darien says, go chase that one.
Thought about it.
He
Thought
did.
about taking a rip.
Sears, nice, easy pass there. But unfortunately, Darien turns it over. Hawley tries to keep the ball, but Fairfield's win the corner, or sorry, throw in.
Whoop. Prep keep the ball.
First half observations.
Darien need to start getting a little bit more aggressive on the attack. It makes me a little nervous that it's really outside of that first 2.5 minutes. They've just been absorbing Fairfield's attack all game, and I don't know how long that can sustain. I think, you know, the Wave has a great defense, but even the best defenses, it's just a long time.
It is, I think, very astute point there. If Darien can continue to sit back, rest on that 1-0 lead, they will run
Nice
into some trouble. Great flick from Sears. McElhose does well to use his body, play one out to Hawley. Almost works out, but Prepper intercepts that one.
And, you know, Darien they're fun on the attack. You know, it'd be great to see them really run loose here.
Almost a clever touch there. Darien, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players really sitting deep, and now they're pushing, but without much support.
Tough challenge.
Looks like Darien just ran straight into a wall there. As the wind starts to blow, the last thing we need.
The whipping. And once again, Fairfield comes back. You know, there's no holes at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, great skill from Sears. Doing what he does best with the ball in the midfield as Coelho takes the ball and tries to turn. He did get, I think the Prep defender did get the ball there.
Did.
Correct decision from the referee. As we now roll right under the 5-minute mark. Darien still leading 1-0, holding on to that critical lead here in the playoff game for the CIAC State Tournament. Winner plays #1 Glastonbury on Monday. And that is the case in point of what you hate to see happen on a night like this. Obviously, you hope there is no risk of head injury. But I do think it's the shock value of the sting there.
Mm-hmm. You'll be numb.
As we will take a brief injury break here. Darien Blue Wave up 1-0 on Fairfield Prep on a frigid night in Southwest Connecticut. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in this first half. We are back here after a brief injury break. Just enough time to crack open some new hand warmers.
And for the boys to get a little water.
Darien still holding on to that 1-goal lead as we see some good sportsmanship there. Darien kicking the drop ball back to Fairfield to restart.
I'll be interested to hear, you know, what John has to say at halftime, what the reaction is, if the playing style changes, or whether he is really just content to absorb this attack and defend effectively.
And to be fair, I wouldn't say Fairfield's created much of a dangerous chance so far. So
No.
I wouldn't blame John if he wanted to at least hold a similar play style. But on the other hand, you know, this is high school soccer. Anything can happen. All it takes is a bounce off a corner kick, as we have here.
Exactly.
Prep puts that ball in.
Good delivery.
Oh, that's a great ball.
Fumble in the box, and it's exactly what you just said. You know, a ball takes a weird touch, falls to the foot of a Prep player, and you could find yourself at level again. But fortunately, Lehan there to save the day.
Good flick on from Sears. Well called push in the back there on Fairfield Prep, and I believe Sears will look to play this ball in over the top.
Yep.
And talk about a potentially tremendous way to end this first half if they can nick another one, go into the half with a 2-goal lead. It does look like Sears.
Ref seeming to make some signaling here.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy with Charlie there. I'm not sure if he was trying to push the ball up farther than he needed to. Great ball, but fortunately
Close.
collected pretty simply by Fairfield as Demora.
And Prep looking to break, and offside. Connor Moore with a great run, but just a little bit too ambitious there, not holding his line.
Will Henry Harmon with the free kick. I think Darien would be wise to, oof,
Felt that one.
yeah, I felt it from up here. Would be wise just to see this half out. I don't think they need to commit too many men forward. Not that they have been for much of this first half, but they will want to hold on to at least some lead going into the second half in a big playoff match for the state tournament.
Absolutely. I think this last minute and a half almost will be just about seeing it into the half.
Absolutely, and Liam Flaherty there picks out Charlie Sears. Over to McElhose and onwards to Jack Hawley. And a great switch of play. Hawley using his pace, but I think the ball is just too long for him. So it goes out for a Prep goal kick. We are just trickling under a minute and a half to go in this first half. Darien 1, Fairfield Prep 0. McElhose called for a handball there.
Prep really wasting no time here getting the ball up.
Decent ball forward. Fortunately, cannot connect with that flick on. Flaherty takes a little too long. And good tackle.
Strong tackle.
That was Colin Gallagher, number 18, with the good tackle. Demora plays another ball in. It is ping pong right now. Another ball over the top. And see, that is the risk.
It's not over yet.
That is the risk that Will Lehan plays there. Charging out, he wasn't able to get to that ball. Darien escaped with one. As the clock slowly moves to 0.
And that will just about do it.
So the first half is in the books here at Stadium Field. Darien with a 1-0 lead over Fairfield Prep in this state qualifier. The winner moves on to take on the top seed Glastonbury. Want to give a shout out to our DAF Media production crew. Jack Kelly on camera 2, Andrew Banks on camera 1. Our director is Connor Fagan. And we will take a break and be back with second half action of this Class LL state qualifier between Darien and Fairfield Prep, as we take a look at the Darien goal here on the penalty kick.
We will be back in just a short 10 minutes for second half action.
In 2008, a group of 4 women came together to create a playground by the beach for kids to have fun.
We thought it would be great to have a playground at the beach. We live in a community that's on the water, and it would be really fun to be able to appreciate that. There was a playground here originally, but it was in the backwoods and there were mosquitoes. It was very, very unappealing and no one wanted to go there. Building and designing and fundraising the playground definitely took a good amount of time.
We had to fund it. It was $250,000. We had an estimate given to us. We had to fundraise for that amount of money, and we started out with different ways of doing that.
One of my good friends did PR, one did the graphic design. I ended up being in charge of selling all of the bricks. We had someone doing the playground design, and we were all moms who were mothers of preschoolers who had just left the workforce.
We approached a lot of different big companies, and they said they couldn't fund us. We weren't really reaching the amount that we needed to reach. We decided to go ahead and ask the Darien Foundation for a large donation to kind of kickstart the campaign.
The Darien Foundation wanted us to expand the project a little bit because they felt like the playground was really only for the 2 to 6-year-olds. Once the Darien Foundation agreed to pledge money, the town agreed that we could put swings in.
When other people heard that we had gotten money from the Darien Foundation, they were able to say, well, this is going to happen. This idea is actually going to come to fruition. So a lot of people then came on as funders. Local businesses came. More families decided to buy bricks because they knew that this playground was really going to happen. It wasn't just some pipe dream of 19 moms.
Well, one of the great aspects of the playground as we designed it was that we had it open to the beach because the kids love running back and forth to the water and then back to the playground. One of my favorite parts of the playground is that it's in the shape of the nautical theme with the ship and the lighthouse, given that it's on the beach.
It's because of the playground that the parents come and really take the time and enjoy, have their coffee, and watch their kids grow up and have fun.
Playground by the Sound has been an important part of the community for 10 years. During our 3rd annual Weed Beach Fest this June, we made the playground kind of a center point of the actual event. In honor of the 10th birthday of the Playground by the Sound, the Darien Foundation hosted our Kids Cove, and for the first time we were able to offer it open and free to the public for over 400 kids to enjoy, and we are so thankful for the Darien Foundation.
The Playground by the Sound grant had a big impact on the Darien Foundation in 2 ways. Number one, it was one of our first big capital grants, and we were really excited to partner with the 4 moms that brought the project to us here at Weed Beach. The second thing is, it got people to feel in town that they could come to us and make presentations and bring their good ideas, and we would be receptive and open to hear those ideas. And it's created a great dialogue between the Darien community and the Darien Foundation.
People need to know that they can do something like this on their own, and with partnering with the Darien Foundation to actually do the funding made it happen.
I'm proud of the work the Darien Foundation has done over the past 20 years. If you live here, our work has likely impacted you, your family, and your neighbors. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4.2 million in grants, which create opportunity for Darien's youth, support our town's safety and security services, and enhance the overall quality of life in Darien through collaboration with community organizations.
As a family that's relatively new to town and planning to make this our long-term home, I'm grateful to see my community and my family benefit from the Darien Foundation. When I learned that the edible gardens at the elementary schools, the generator at the Darien Library, and the playground by the Sound were all funded by the same organization, I raised my hand to get involved. I'm proud to support an organization whose impact I see every day in our schools and throughout our community.
So far this year, the Darien Foundation has awarded $138,000 in grants to enhance our community. In 2013, the Darien Community Association opened a 4-acre bird sanctuary thanks to a grant from the Darien Foundation. The serene wooded glade has attracted numerous birds, bees, and butterflies, as well as more than 200 school children and other visitors. This year, they added a new pondless waterfall, as well as more trees, plantings, signage, and benches. In 1976, the Darien Historical Society and Darien High School students built the Middlesex, an authentic replica of the 18th century whaleboats. These were used by local patriots in the Revolutionary War to fight the British Navy in Long Island Sound. The Darien Historical Society is restoring this artifact so that it can be part of Darien's upcoming 2020 bicentennial celebrations. The live turtle exhibit continues to be the most popular attraction for children at the Darien Nature Center, which welcomes over 16,000 visits annually. A new forest and pond ecosystem will allow visitors to engage with several species of turtle that will live together in a 50-square-foot habitat that resembles their natural home.
This has been such a special collaboration between the Darien Nature Center and the Darien Foundation, because not only have they provided generous funding to us, but we've been able to meet with members of the foundation and our staff and talk about what is going to make the very best exhibit for the town of Darien, and we've really added value to the process by doing that.
The vast majority of food distributed by Person to Person is donated from local suppliers and businesses. A group of dedicated volunteers drives the brand new cargo van on these daily rounds, which each year account for more than $100,000 in collected food. Person to Person also has an extensive youth program, offering many Darien High School and middle school students their first experiences at volunteering.
Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have a beautiful new van. We're very excited about it, not only because it's new and it's safe for those who are riding in it and driving and going to pick up all the food, but also it speaks to the support of the Darien Foundation as well as speaks to what Person to Person does in the community.
For more than 20 years, the Darien Foundation has been investing in Darien, offering our town's youth, emergency services, and community organizations an avenue to pursue innovation and excellence. Collaboration with you, the members of our community, has been vital to our mission. Thank you for supporting the Darien Foundation. We are building a better Darien together.
We are back here live on the DAF Media Network. Damian Andrew. And I want to give a shout out to our DAF Media production crew. Darien leads 1-0 in this state qualifier in boys soccer Class LL CIAC tournament. Our DAF Media production crew, Andrew Banks, camera 1, Jack Kelly, camera 2. Our director, instant replay coordinator is Connor Fagan. And now back to the men calling the action of tonight's match, Eric Hannigan and Lewis Clark.
Thanks, Damian. As we see both teams lining up for the second half action, and we have seen the key substitution for the Darien Blue Wave, 00 Thomas Bronca coming in for Will Lehan. This is a goalkeeper very highly regarded by Coach John Bradley. He is, believe it or not, a freshman coming in at quite a high level and a high importance game. So big moment for Bronca and a big moment for the Blue Wave to get into the CIAC tournament.
Yeah, an impressive feat for such a young boy to be coming into this game. He's John truly must be a real top talent for John to be thrown into a game like this.
It's a lot of confidence it takes, especially coming into a second half game that Darien have a 1-0 lead. He's going to be hoping to keep this score at 1-0 and stifle this Fairfield team.
Hawley back quick, attacking, running at the defenders, and he's back with, it looks like, a neck warmer here to keep him going.
They will try just about anything, as they should. I remember doing the same.
Hawley got a neck warmer. I got hand warmers in my boots.
As we see Sears line up this corner kick, it looks like, maybe I'll continue this after the chance. Looks to pick out Will Henry Harmon.
Good attempt there by him.
It was a good, that's one of those that are drawn up on the practice fields. Doesn't quite work out, but good effort. What I was saying was it looks like this Darien team has gone back to the initial 5-minute tactics of the first half, really trying to put pressure on that Ward. I'm doing it again, prep defense, which John initially said they were going to do, and we saw later in the first half that they really kind of sat back and just invited pressure. So,
yeah, long may it continue. Long may it continue. Wanted to stay this way, exciting game, and if I'm the Wave, I'm looking to get 2. You're looking to get goal number 2 here to really close this one out and move on up to Glastonbury.
Yeah, it's the funny thing about this soccer season in the FCIAC is your initial games and your preseason practices are in 90, 95 degree weather on these turf fields. You just feel like melting. By the end of the season, especially if you're in the CIAC tournament, you're almost longing for those 95 degree days.
Yeah, it is crazy. This is one of the few sporting seasons where you really get every season of the year, and it just like you say, it's lots of different kinds of games, and these are the ones where you got to worry about your muscles, like you mentioned before, and just be keeping warm.
Sears with the lower ball there. That's handled fairly easily by Prep. How much would you say weather conditions play into a game? I know it's hard to quantify, but is it more a mental thing?
Mental. Yeah, absolutely. I think some kids might think, oh, it's freezing, I'm not up for it.
Yeah.
It really depends on how much they really want it, and that's when it tests how much you want it.
Yeah, it's really about the mental strength there. All about that mental strength.
You do need the mental strength in this one. But yeah, no, I mean, there are a lot of kids that would say, you know what, it's 30 degrees out and there's a little bit of a wind chill. I'm not up for it, and you won't get the best out of them. But it's certainly a factor in that way.
Yeah, I think you're right. But fortunately, I think the gravity of games like this almost outweigh that.
Mm-hmm.
You almost relish the chance to play in these unique conditions that you're not used to in the regular season, as the Fairfield Prep goalie picks that one up. I have to say, regardless of the result tonight, I think he will take home the most patriotic trophy for his red, white, and blue garb.
It's great.
Always good to celebrate.
I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
Fairfield's not quite sure what that hand gesture meant, but I believe he was calling for the throw-in. This is really the first time in this half that Prep has pushed this far forward into Darien's half. Testament to Darien's defense as well as their midfield.
Yeah, you know, we haven't really talked about it that much so far, but sometimes the best form of defense is attack. So I think that, you know, coming out of that team talk at halftime, perhaps that's what John's been relaying to these guys, and to keep going and tracking back and forth to try and chase that second goal to give them a little bit of comfort.
It's one of those things from, you know, the level we're watching this game at now. It's interesting to watch how throughout even just a half, dynamics and tactics can change so much. You know, when you're on the ground level playing in a game, so much happening around you, you don't really notice it on that macro scale. So it is fun to see from this perspective.
Absolutely. And I don't know what John was doing on the field then, but he seems to be roaming. Probably just trying to stay warm.
All right, after a long pause here, Fairfield take the throw in, and it looks like they'll win a corner.
Another test for the Darien defense.
So you see only 2 Prep players staying back for this corner, although Darien's entire team is pretty much in the box. Oh, and we have a goal.
And we got a tie game.
We'll be able to see what happened on the replay here. It was the initial flick-on header. It looks like number 2, Joseph DeVellis, takes advantage of Thomas Bronca coming out a little preemptively as we see the reverse angle. Great replay here. Just slides it through, and so unfortunate. Gets the 5-hole. And I was talking to one of the girls' team coaches, Mike Fraioli, at halftime, and he said he didn't think there was just one goal in this game, and he was exactly right. Unfortunately, a little sign of inexperience from Thomas Bronca there, although I think he was really just caught off guard in terms of positioning. The ball was bouncing around quite a bit, so it is kind of hard to judge, but nevertheless, Prep pull one back, and it is 1-1 in this CIAC State playoff game.
You know, you mentioned it earlier, is that, you know, when you're sitting back, granted, Darien did start this half a bit stronger, you just never know what's going to happen in some of these set plays. If a ball comes in from a corner, you know, a weird bounce here and there, once the ball's in the box, all it takes is a little shot like that. You know, it can be a game of inches, and it just managed to squeak through the defender and the goalie there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the problem here was even a Prep team who has been struggling to create much from open play. You know, as long as you're getting set pieces, you have a very good chance to score, and that's exactly what happens on that one. We see Sears using that adrenaline, almost trying to chase down Fairfield's number 10 as Darien win the throw-in.
And now they're really going to be fighting here.
McElhose, good, clever touch there. Playing it to Jack Hawley and back to McElhose. Just gets a toe to that. Jack Hawley with the opportunity.
Good save by the keeper.
And this is the type of play that we needed to see in the first half if you're a Blue Wave supporter. As we see the replay here, great first touch out of his feet, just slams it at the Stars and Stripes.
And you see the reverse angle here from behind. Great attempt from Hawley.
Sears plays that ball in. It is a total mess. Oh, I think that hit the bar just over the goal.
Crossbar. I think everybody was surprised about that one.
Yeah, I can't say I knew much about what was going on there, but end result is no goal for Darien and Fairfield.
And hopefully we'll have a replay for everyone soon.
Jack Hawley using that pace on the right-hand side. Again, real standout player today.
He's been instrumental.
Back to McElhose, who plays a delicious ball in the middle.
Lovely teased ball.
Charlie Sears, great touch again. Jack Hawley. Darien
And
crowd
Hawley
really getting
here.
into it now, but Jack Hawley is, sorry to cut you off there, is looking down the right flank.
Looking dangerous, but offsides.
Charlie Sears lining up another free kick. Referee.
It's the second time tonight the ref's been telling him to put the ball back.
You
where
know,
it
when
was.
it's this deep in the field, I'm surprised he's too concerned
But
about that.
he has a kick, and he has a leg.
And I believe that's a foul called on Darien, or I think he might be raising his arm for offsides as we see the long ball played. God bless the USA, says the Fairfield keeper as he punches that one into the night sky. Oh, and look at
And
that.
a dangerous flick there.
Flick on, and another good ball.
Prep of an opportunity.
Darien does well to get that out. That was a really dangerous chance for Fairfield Prep. Darien caught on the back foot. It's now Charlie Sears looking to win the ball, although he's dispossessed. We'll see this one run, I think, out of bounds. Oh, no.
Prep keeps it alive.
This is a different Prep team than I recall seeing in the first half.
Yes, it absolutely is. Wave getting the ball upfield now.
Throw from Jacob Grimm up the sideline, although Darien really struggling to hold on to the ball here. As we see that defense under pressure.
Yeah, Connor Moore looking dangerous there.
Great dribbling from Moore, although he is just dispossessed deep in Darien's half as we see a substitution. It is good to see Trevor Knisely, who did take that knock in the first half. The ball to the head. It's good to see that he's back on the field.
And it looks like he replaced Brett Catano.
Long throw here from Prep, and a good one. Sears does well to knock that out. And an opportunity for Bronca to get involved in the action.
Get the ball deep upfield.
Get some confidence.
Strong challenge.
Oh, and a long ball there. Prep collects that one and again has the opportunity to reset the play. As the clock Just under 29 minutes here in the second half. Fairfield Prep 1, Darien Blue Wave 1 for the CIAC playoff play-in game to face number 1 Glastonbury, Connecticut powerhouse. Looks like Prep will get the throw in there.
Great of Henry Harmon to be playing out the back there. You know, he has the confidence to make a pass instead of just, you know, booting up the field as direction, and now the Wave being able to build off it. Hawley able to hold the ball up. He's been great.
I don't think that
And
was
I don't
out
know
of
about
bounds.
that one.
That's the difficulty there, a 2-referee system. Odds are you're not always close to the action, but at the end of the day, they do have the ultimate call. So we see Hawley stretching out those calves again.
That's what we're talking about.
Late in the second half, these conditions really start to factor in. Muscles tighten. Your lungs almost seem to freeze up. It is just a whole different ball game.
It's when you need a teammate to stretch your leg out. Stretch the hamstring.
And how hard is it, Lewis, tell me, to, I know you've played in more advanced positions in your time, to play in Jack Hawley's role, which he's occupied tonight?
Well, it's almost, you know, in the first half, he's seeing a lot more of the ball now, so he's going to be a lot happier, but it's frustrating. You know, you're making a lot of good runs, and you're waiting for that ball to be coming your way every once in a while, and you know, oftentimes in that first half, the ball is just kind of being booted aimlessly almost up the field. And when, you know, you can show for feet and you're making a run and you're making these great runs and making a lot of effort, it can be frustrating sometimes. But he's getting more on the ball, which is great. And, you know, Darien are going to need a channel through him if they're going to want to find this goal. He's coming out now for a breather, but they're going to need to rely on him.
Yeah, and I think emphasis really on the isolation that you face as a lone striker. You have so much room to occupy and almost too many people to go up against, but he'll get a much needed breather and stretch on the sideline there. We see Sears, and I believe that's Pedro Coelho in an advanced position. I think John's going to push Sears up to use that ball playing ability in a more advanced role.
Well, good work from the defender there. Bit of a dangerous long throw there from Darien. That's always one that you kind of have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild card at this level. You see it a lot. And even at a professional level, some teams will look to utilize that as kind of a...
Where's the flip throw gone?
I haven't seen that since preseason back in
yeah, and those were great.
earlier this decade, so
yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
Look ridiculous, but highly effective.
Oh, my. Good tidy play there from Darien as we see Coelho with the turn. Oh, and unleashes a shot wide of...
He thinks he earned a corner, but...
Might have just been a little too wide.
Ref points for the goal kick.
I think John, having Sears push a little further up is an indicator of where his head's at right now. John's, that is. I think he realizes that we could be, Darien rather, could be in a very precarious position here. You know, we only have 23 minutes to go, and so far, I would say Prep has looked like the better side, at least in the second half.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They don't have that luxury of the 1-0 lead anymore. You know, they have to realize that this is it. It's all square, and they got to find a goal from somewhere.
So we have an offside call there from the referee on our near side. Darien wastes no time trying to get that ball up the pitch. But from a neutral perspective, this 1-1, especially in a play-in game for a state tournament, is fantastic to watch.
It's been fierce. It's been a great battle so far. Great competition.
And, you know, as time ticks down, I believe they still use the 10-minute half rule and extra time with the potential of penalty kicks after. Obviously, that makes it very interesting for a neutral, but neither team is going to want to have to go an additional 20 minutes plus penalties if it comes to that. Then it really becomes just a wild card in terms of a result.
Yeah, you know, you definitely don't want it to go to penalties. That's just about as good as roulette, honestly.
Yep, roulette, flip a coin, pick your poison.
Yep.
Sears, soft touch.
Great ball.
Oh, and that's unfortunate. I believe that was Bennett Dumas who picked that nice ball up from Sears, took a turn, connected with the ball, but Prep did manage to get behind it.
You did. And it is funny. We talk about Prep being potentially the better side here in this game, but this half in particular, they haven't really been in Darien's third besides that one goal.
It's true. You know, and again, I think this gets into how do you describe a dominating team in soccer, and I don't think there's one clear-cut answer, but it seems that Darien just hasn't had many ideas going forward, and Fairfield have, you know, at least had these opportunities. But again, you're Darien, you have the opportunity off a corner kick to counter, and there is no one up the fields. Now I'm about to eat my words here as Darien pushes forward. But there's not much support. And assuming Prep can get that ball out, which they do.
I think it's really just patience and to be calm, especially on those opportunities where you do finally win back the ball, to, you know, understand that you don't necessarily need to be booning up the field, especially when almost all 11 players are in the 18-yard box. Because it's just going to come right back.
Yep, that's right. And we see Coelho, number 21 for Darien, really occupying that position that Jack Hawley held.
And if I'm Hawley, I'm jumping at the bit to get back in. You can see him there, it's staying loose.
Yeah, he really will want to channel that same energy and approach that he had in that first really 2 minutes that we saw when he won the penalty. That's the type of play that they're looking for, but the problem from his standpoint is he needs to receive the ball clearly, you know, in that open space. And if he does so, I think he has the talent and the ability to take advantage and take those defenders on. Now we are under 20 minutes to go in this second half. Darien tied with Prep at home. Oh, a great ball forward.
Really nice ball in.
I mean, Lewis, could you have asked for a better cross there from Fairfield?
No, that was whipped in perfectly, and I think it was impressive that he managed to keep it in bounds, let alone get it in as well as he did. And unfortunately, the Prep player just about missed it.
Yeah, it was one of those opportunities where there was so much pace on that ball. If you're a Prep attacker, as long as you get something on that, it's really going to go flying towards the net.
I think he was just as surprised as we were.
Yep, I think so too. Good tackle from Prep there. I mean, something like that, it may not seem too monumental in the grand scheme of this game, but that's really something that sets the tone for this remaining 19 minutes.
And you better believe that that Wave player is going to be remembering that when the ball's coming his way next time.
That's right.
You know, it's
in the
a
back of
nerve
his head.
thing. He's going to be wondering when the guy's going to be coming through him.
As we see Sears just trying to get the ball on
Now
the top of the box.
Prep.
And look at this. Ooh.
Player down here. Is that number 30? Is that Eric Langeland?
Does look like it from here, and I don't know that I caught the full foul. Looks like he will need a sub. Again, you don't like to see that as he hobbles off. It looks like very much a technical foul.
Crowd showing their support here. Always love to see that. Play almost ready to resume here.
Good turn there from Prep's number 22.
And a big opportunity here.
I was going to say, just from the atmosphere, you can tell the momentum of this game has turned, and Darien really need to be careful. They are under fire very much in the second half. I think the entire mood of this team has changed, and this is really where you become vulnerable to set pieces like this one as Prep plays in that ball. It goes over Bronca's head.
Great skill. And now a chance. Can he get there?
Oh, what a tackle.
But he's still there.
He's offside. Yeah.
Oh, just about.
That's a good call. And he was maybe 3-4 yards just over the halfway line, which is good enough for the offside call. But talk about an interesting spell there.
And Prep will send it back to the Wave third. Dealt with nicely.
A long ball, just wide of Bronca's far post.
Henry Harmon will be looking to get it as far upfield as possible. The Wave looking to get up, create something here and find that answer. Some good traveling support here from the Prep fans today. We got some students on the other side of the field and some parents on our side on the bleachers, making for a great atmosphere at the Darien Stadium field. Good touch from Holly. But Prep gathers the ball back out to the wing. Serves one in, but dealt with by the Wave defense. Good attempt, but collected by Bronca as he looks to spring his side here. Get his leg through the ball. Finds his teammate. Sears with a great looking ball there. But unfortunately, he is offsides. Just under 15 minutes to go here. Level 1-1, Prep Darien. And the winner go home. Both teams searching for that crucial goal. It looks like they've got a throw-in and then the attacking third here. We mentioned it before. Sometimes that long throw can be a troubling tool of a team's attack and be tough to deal with for a defense. So it looks like he's got a long run up here, so you might be seeing something similar there, where it's almost a corner kick, really, for the attacking team. See the long throw here. Great header, but Bronca, cool as you like, gathers and gets ready.
That'll do a lot for his confidence. Again, the freshman goalkeeper.
And you see the replay here. Great
It's
header.
a great play and a great header. I mean, this Prep team is really a team reborn from that first half. I think that was clean, but at the end of the day, called as a foul. Darien win the throw-in on the far side.
We're almost at the 10-minute mark here. Eric, what do you think that the Wave has to do here to get the victory?
It really comes from, I think, possession play in the midfield and creating opportunities. If they're not running at that Prep defense, they're really just saying, we'll let you have the say in this, this last bit of the second half. And that's what we've seen for much of the second half is Prep is just, I don't want to say walked over Darien, but they've been the ones applying the pressure.
You have felt that they've really been in control for most of the game.
Gilhooly there. Decent opportunity. Great space created by Charlie Sears. Again, he is a player that this Wave team will miss dearly in years going forward.
Cruel for either side for this to manage to make its way to penalties. You always like to see a winner come out before that.
Yeah, and I do believe that it will go into 2 periods of extra time. So they do have the opportunity from open play. At least what you see at higher levels at the professional stage, that extra time is almost just kind of a grace period waiting game because teams are very cautious not to concede that not too much happens. But again, at this level, all it takes is a free kick, a corner, something that could separate the two in that extra time.
Yeah, and don't forget, I mean, by the time you do get to extra time, you've been running all game.
Yep.
So you're really running on fumes.
Oh, big mistake there from William Henry Harmon. He puts his hand up to apologize. Fortunately, Thomas Bronca makes the save there.
And you see the instant replay here from Connor Moore. Shot on target, but Bronca falls to his right and collects calmly. I have to say these replays are so impressive. I think that the production work that these kids are doing are phenomenal. and just talk about what great experience to be getting, in, especially in high school as they look to further this in college and furthermore.
I'll completely agree. You know, it's a source for a lot of envy for us former players to see how much is in place now. But great work at this production level as Sears goes down, but no foul is given, and Prep really pushing forward.
And that'll be a throw for the Wave. Despite Harrison Steffens thinking that it could have been something more for Prep.
You know, I think Holly has been very effective throughout this game. Sears, on the other hand, I feel like his pace has just slowed down.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen much from Holly. They haven't been able to get him the ball, and they really got to start channeling through him as they search for this winning goal. Long throw. It looks like the ref has caught a foul here. And another big opportunity for Prep.
Newmeyer, number 10. He is saying, get back towards the far post as he plays one in. Oh, and what a good ball.
Strong punch away from Bronca.
And again, it's almost to the point where John might want to look to see if Sears needs a breather.
Yeah.
You know, he had an opportunity there, and he was almost walking around. And this is a player, John said, that he's rested for the prior 2 weeks, you know, for this state game. It's not to question his talent. We know he has plenty of that. Maybe he just needs a quick breather. But of course, the other side is you don't want anything to happen in this remaining 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's... Oh. And Bronca pushes wide, but
that is one
dangerous.
We would like the rear replay, hopefully.
Falls all the way here, but drag wide.
Just pulled wide.
Yeah, it's one of those balances really with Sears, especially because he is, you know, a phenomenal player. But at what point do you just give him a little bit of a break?
Yep.
He's been out there for so much of the game, and while, you know, you do want him to be out there as much as possible, you also have to understand it's a balance of making sure he's got the fumes to keep going.
We see Pierce, don't call me Gil Hooley, coming off the pitch. Obviously a testament to our friend Jonathan Gill.
Mm-hmm.
McElhose looks to clean that one up. We are just approaching 5 minutes here in the CIAC tournament play-in game. We've had a very exciting second half, especially the past 10 minutes, with two teams locked at 1-1 on a cold night in Darien. Again, that ball went awry there from Charlie Sears. He almost looks lost.
Looks tired. He's dropping back quite a bit now. Doesn't look like he's getting up as high. Maybe his role has changed.
Bronca scoops that one into his arms, and we are getting into very interesting time of the game here with 4 minutes to go. This is a very important game. I can't stress that enough. This is potentially the end of the season for either side seniors, and some players aren't really playing like it could be. So here's some good play from Sears, and that's what you want to see. He takes the space, takes on 2-3 players, and gets the ball out of his feet. He just needs to make sure that he's staying involved. He is such a talented player. Darien need every ounce of his effort in this remaining 4 minutes. Darien look for the long throw. Now that is some pace there.
And that's going to be a corner kick. Or is it not? No.
Oh.
The ref says no.
Sears with a powerful header there. I think you have 2 offside players. I'm really surprised the ref has not called that.
Yeah.
He tells the prep attacker to pick himself up. No foul.
Almost 2 minutes to go here in this win or go home. Both teams desperate for that goal that's going to take them to the next round and live to fight another day.
Harmon looking to show his one-on-one prowess. He's run right past. As Darien will look to stop a corner.
About save it from a corner. That's great defensive work there.
Nevertheless, a throw in deep in Darien's half for Fairfield Prep. Under 2 minutes now. We are tied at 1-1 in a win or go home until next season matchup.
And a foul called there.
Offsides, maybe.
Perhaps.
Nevertheless,
Like
Darien get away with one as Will Henry Harmon will look to get this ball upfield. There is not much time remaining in regular time.
Good kick up the field.
You think we'll see one here, Lewis?
But wave, look. Could be in.
That's Chase Caruso putting on a lot of pressure, and now look at this.
Now it's the Waves' turn.
Go diagonal across the pitch from a throw-in we just saw a few seconds ago, and Darien have their own opportunity here.
Get this in the box, and truly anything can happen. Minute left.
Great throw there from Darien.
Defended well. And Connor Moore coming down.
And I was a little nervous there. I thought Charlie Sears was giving too much time. I think that's Charlie. Too much time there, but plays that well and puts in a tackle. Look at this.
Turning down the opportunity to get the ball in there at first, but
25 seconds at this point. Darien just needs to get the ball out. We hear screams of do something from the crowd. Oh, what a clever flick. Oh, my. Oh, the referee says no.
No.
That was, I am sorry. That is as clear-cut a penalty as possible.
And with just seconds on the clock, Darien gets away with one.
As we see a number of Fairfield Prep players and coaches crowding the referee. I haven't been in agreement with a number of calls tonight, but that one might just be the one that could change everything in this game. Wow.
Gentlemen, I'm going to jump back on here for a second. What a match here. So here's the situation now, right? We play 2 10-minute overtime. no golden goal, right?
Correct.
And we'll see what happens. But doesn't get any better than this for a state qualifier.
That's what it's all about.
And then, oh, by the way, you win and you get the #1 seed in the Class LL
Congratulations.
tournament. That's right. Congratulations.
The lucky winner.
That's absolutely. We are going to take a quick break. We will be back with more live soccer on the DAF Media Network. Once again, our DAF Media production crew, our director is Connor Fagan, our camera 1 operator is Andrew Banks, and our camera 2 operator is Jack Kelly. Of course, Eric Hannigan and Lewis Clark doing such a tremendous job calling the action on this one. We will take a quick break. We will be back with more soccer, 2 10-minute overtimes. You're watching the DAF Media Network.
This is Eric Hannigan back at the intermission here as we see both replays of the 2 goals from regular time. Again, this is Prep's equalizer. Nice turn and shot. Bronca unfortunate not to get there. And I believe this is again this is a good opportunity. I believe that was called as a foul. And the players are just about to take the pitch. Darien is taking the pitch. Prep getting in their last minute team talks here before a very crucial extra time period in this CIAC tournament play-in game. So we see Will Lehan back in between the sticks for Darien. As Prep just jogs on this very cold night under just about a full moon here at Stadium Field in Darien, Connecticut. We have a blockbuster game before the main CIAC tournament. And again, we have 2 10-minute halves here, 4 extra time. It is not golden goal, meaning if a team scores, we play on until the full 20 minutes has elapsed. If there is no winner after that time, we will go to a penalty shootout, which is, again, just about as dramatic an event as you can see in any sport. As Darien making a strong push here. Wow. Talk about a good start to that first period of extra time. As I am joined here by former player and former DHS captain. I had the pleasure of playing alongside him, now have the pleasure of calling a game alongside him, Lewis Clark.
Oh, how times have changed. Yeah, you know, it's nights like this where you're watching and you're thinking, oh, what I would do to be back out there.
Yeah, and for more reasons than just staying warm, this is such a fun game to be a part of. Obviously nerve-wracking, but you really could not ask for a better atmosphere tonight. So many Darien students, so many parents from both schools.
Yeah, and you know, we haven't really touched on it much tonight, but it's these lights and these facilities are just amazing. They're phenomenal. Always wish that we had the lights back in our day, and glad that they are finally able to come to an agreement and get these lights in, because it's really nothing better than playing under the lights. And the buzz that you get from that, and everybody gets very excited, and I think that it just overall makes for a more exciting game and a more exciting atmosphere.
Yeah, you're right. We almost had essentially what would have been in other sports a buzzer beater at the end of regulation. Darien almost looked like, and by almost I mean did look like they pulled that prep attacker down. Could have easily been called as a penalty, and that would have been the last kick of the game. So Darien fortunate to still be alive here. They'll hope to take advantage of that call or missed call and potentially continue onwards into the CIAC tournament. I mean, really, you play 40-minute halves in 10 minutes for an extra time. Half must just seem like close to nothing.
Yeah, it's a short burst, so you're really going to be wanting to give it as much as you can, and then at the end of that 10, you got another breather. I don't know how, obviously late in the game, but I don't know how many subs you really want to be making, because you want to be able to get a rhythm going. And if you're constantly kind of shuffling things around, it's tough for the guys to be stringing some some passes together.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously, thinking back to our season, obviously, I think the one extra time game we played was against West Hill. It's just a whole different dynamic playing those two periods.
It is. It's it can only really be described truly as anarchy, and it's madness. Everybody's throwing everything that they got in the effort to live another day.
It's funny. It's time added on to regulation, but you do feel like you have more in the tank in this extra period than, say, the last 15 minutes of regulation.
Yeah, you get some extra juice, and I think it all starts to become real. It's really win or go home now, and it all comes down to this.
Could not agree more as we see Darien slowly preparing for a goal kick here. We have 6 minutes left on the clock in the first half of extra time tonight at Darien High School's Stadium Fields. Again, regardless of what happens in this first period of time, we will go on to a second 10 minutes, at which point, if the game is tied, penalty kicks will decide this one.
And you never want to accept that to be the case. Some teams will often be happy to let it run down to a roll of a dice, but these teams are so evenly matched that either really can come away with the win before then.
And this is no obviously disrespect to either of Darien's goalies. I think it's an interesting dynamic that John has decided to share halves essentially with both Bronca and Lehan between the sticks. How do you think that plays out in terms of penalties? Obviously, John has to go with one. My at least opinion is you go with the more experienced goalkeeper, but
yeah, no, I think I'd agree with you there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see right towards the end of the extra time before the penalty kicks begin that you do see that potential switch. You will see. Potentially, he might not even, he may decide not to throw Bronca back in for the second half of overtime. We just don't know. But should that be the case, I could see a world where Lehan comes back into the game, a more experienced goalkeeper on this stage, in no disrespect to Bronca, but could see that being the case, yeah.
To be fair, it's a freshman compared to sophomore. You do see even at the highest level in this sport, certain clubs have goalkeepers who are notorious for saving penalties, so they might not get game time, but in a lot of major cup games, you see them come on the pitch just before penalty shootouts to use that expertise at stopping penalties. It's the job that they need them for. Obviously, this is all hypothetical conversation. We still have 14 minutes to play here in extra time. but it is always fun to speculate.
Yeah, that reminds me of the great Tim Krul, who came in at the end of the Netherlands World Cup match. I forget what round of the tournament it was. I think there were some high stakes on the line, but you saw manager Louis van Gaal bring him in right at the last minute, a known penalty kick save specialist.
Oh, that's
and
a
won
great
them the
ball
game.
from, wow. No, you're absolutely right. And again, you know, playing open fields in that goalkeeper spot is a completely different role than stopping a penalty kick for obvious reasons. As we see a replay here, Prep playing a long ball forward.
Just evading his head there.
Just over the head of James Burris, number 8.
Credit to the supporters. It is frigid out, but you know they've stayed strong and loud for a
look at
long
this.
time.
Chase Caruso putting a lot of pressure on that Prep defense as we see some life in Charlie Sears. That is what you want if you are Coach John Bradley and his teammates. Will Henry Harmon almost pickpockets Prep there as there's a little push behind. Referee does not seem interested. So Prep will likely whip this ball in and does.
Safe hands, Lee hand.
And that is probably the one instance that we've seen tonight in terms of calls for the goalkeeper that is justified. You show his strength, or this replay will show his strength and judgment there. He times that jump perfectly, gets his body in the way, and draws the foul. That's the confidence you want in that number 1 role.
A lot of chances here for Prep. You know, we got about a minute and a bit, minute and some change left in this half of overtime, and I'll be interested to see if Darien can flip the momentum in the second half.
As we see, it's 1 sub for Fairfield Prep and 2 for Darien. McElhose and Vetter, number 9, both coming off here. We have just over a minute in the first half of extra time. Great tackle in the midfield for Darien. Foul called, and how do you play this if you're Darien? I have my opinion, but I'd like to hear what you think.
How confident are you in your penalty kickers?
Oh, wow. You can't ask disclaimer questions.
It gets to a stage in the game where you hope that I remember something that John and I believe one of our assistant coaches, Anthony Frioli, did with us was right at the end of practice before one of our state or FCIAC games is we'd have a few guys practice penalty kicks. Impossible to recreate that moment, but at least gives you some reps on those. But, I think you just have to be honest with your guys in terms of how much energy is left in the tank. And if you're going to be asking too much of them to be getting up the field, do you leave yourself potentially vulnerable for a goal, to concede a goal?
That's right. And we will have 10 more minutes of play to mull that one over as Darien and Fairfield Prep are still locked at 1-1. We are awaiting a short break here before the second half of extra time. Again, if the game is tied after that period, we will be going to penalty kicks. We will be returning after a short break. Thank you for joining us here at Darien High School Stadium Field.
quick restart here.
Yeah, so after what I thought would be a break turned into just enough time for the teams to switch halves. And again, we only have 10 minutes of play here.
Serving the ball in there.
Serve it. But back to your point, Lewis, it was interesting when I spoke with John today. He did mention that there is a rule. I'm going to hold my breath for just a second. Will Henry Harmon beat on the outside. Oh, wow, Prep with an unbelievable opportunity. Low ball across the middle. Wow, that was dangerous. Will Henry Harmon beaten for pace on the outside there. Fortunate not to have conceded a goal there. And interestingly, John is stuck with Lehan. Not interestingly, he's been playing very well. But in terms of tactics, that was his decision.
Yeah, we thought so.
But what I was mentioning was there is a rule for the FCIAC, I believe, perhaps beyond there. You can't practice for 7 consecutive days. I don't know where that came from. But that mentioned that John actually has spent one of the previous days during those 7 working on penalty kicks. So again, this is exactly why you do that, as you mentioned, as Darien looked to flick that one on. Again, it's impossible to recreate the moment of taking a penalty kick, that long run towards the penalty spot. But again, it's the motions, it's deciding which spot you want to go with, and what could be a critical single kick in your high school career.
Absolutely, it is cruel and sometimes a shame for a result to come down to that. But we have to have a winner here tonight.
Oh, look at this space. I think this is Pedro Coelho. It is.
Strong shot, but just deflect and takes a bit of the pace off of that. Good defending from Prep. Great recovery work there.
Yeah, that was Grimm.
Jacob Grimm.
Fairfield Prep with the corner. Number 10, Newmeyer, plays one in. Oh, boy. Oh, Darien scrambling to get that one out, and they do. But they need to start pressing. They have so much space there. Play one long. I believe both players are on side. And this is becoming a little too chaotic for Darien. I don't know. They seem so organized for the early part of the first half, but aside from that, it's all bets are off.
That's absolutely right, but Prep wins the free kick there. Gives everybody an opportunity to calm down a bit here, and you can see one of the, who's down there, seeing some muscles start to tighten up here. We talked about it earlier, something to be constantly aware of. Don't quite have the number there, but Sears, being the leader he is, assisting his fellow teammate.
You want to get the guy who's taking the penalty kick and the goal in the frame, okay? Are you cold? You all right? Oh, sorry. I just got 2 shots.
As we see a little bit of a break for this injury.
And we'll see a replay of the first goal here. The penalty kick from Sears tucked away very nicely into the bottom right-hand corner. And then again, the equalizer from Prep that leaves us all square with 6 minutes to go in the second half of overtime as we get ever closer to penalty kicks.
Chase Caruso, I think, is the one who pulled up with that injury, so he'll be coming off. Just as my toes might come off in a few minutes. It is a cold night for these players and for the fans, and yet we still have such a great turnout for what isn't even a state game. So obviously the stakes are high, but it's awesome to see this kind of turnout. And you know, it's the venues and the accessories here, like the lights and the broadcasts, that really draw in a lot of attention for this team. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and something else that we didn't touch upon is that, you know, these teams very identical in record, have very identical seasons, but Darien having that rank, that very, very slight rank advantage, got the home field advantage for this one, which can make all the difference.
Yep, it can. And, you know, it is interesting. It wouldn't have meant that they were traveling very far, you know, given had Prep had the higher seed, but regardless, you know, it makes all the difference in terms of fan turnout. Although, to be fair, we see a number of Fairfield Prep fans across the way there.
We do. They've traveled well, but it's always nice playing at home.
Yeah.
What you're used to, comfortable with.
We hear the Darien fans screaming, "Score a goal."
Good advice.
Yeah. Couldn't have cooked up much better than that. It would certainly lift off a lot of pressure on this Darien team, although we see Prep bolting down the right line. These crosses have been so dangerous tonight. Lehan off his line and scoops that one up.
Lehan collects.
I think you really, from Darien's perspective, might have to give him a shout for man of the match tonight. He's been a difference maker and has not conceded. So
no,
he's played well. As we see Gilhooly on the ball. Sears does well to play one through. Jacob Graham, number 13, sees that one out as we are under 5 minutes now in the second half of extra time. And this CIAC play-in.
It looks like we have another pull-up here.
Joseph DeVellis.
Hobbles off the field.
It's a funny phenomenon. You don't expect things to go wrong when you're out there, but these temperatures just kind of take a hold.
And interesting sights from the sideline right now. We see,
I think that might
not
be
Bronca.
Hunter Platts.
And we got Lehan and net. Could this be what we had discussed before, and a penalty kick specialist?
It appears so. I don't think he's out there just to stay warm. He is going through his save motions, although hold the phone. Sears gets that one out. Yeah, we very much see a third goalkeeper warming up for potentially penalty shootout.
Which is a plot twist, and you know, you say potentially, there really is just 3 minutes left here, so Darien at this moment holding on, but they got to make sure they get there.
As each second ticks down, it becomes increasingly likely that we will be encountering penalty kicks. Of course, there could be a last gasp winner. However, Darien taking the necessary preparations for a shootout, as we see a long throw from Prep here. I mean, a goal at this point would just be heartbreaking for either side to concede.
Crushing.
But my word, if this made a headline, it would be tale of three goalkeepers. If we see if we see Platt and net for penalties.
You don't see it often.
No.
And you certainly didn't see it with us. Long throw here. Dealt with.
Strong header. That'll be a foul. Well played by Sears. And you know what's just so difficult is you play, have to do the math in my head, 100 minutes in just such cold, harsh conditions. And then you have to line up to take a penalty kick where you're not sure how your leg's going to be feeling. You're not sure what your run-up's going to feel like. These are conditions that you really haven't had the opportunity to prep for. And of course, under the lights with circumstances like this, it's just nothing prepares you for it.
No, absolutely not. Little. Just caught him there. Don't know how much of him he caught, but.
So we see a yellow card for Darien's number 21, Quello. Did Prep's number 33 pick one up too? I might have missed that.
Possibly.
Well, we'll chuck that one up to the viewers of DAF Media.
Almost a minute here. Prep looking to get the ball as far up the field as possible.
That is a boot.
That is a boot.
McElhose will need to get there and does, although the header goes straight to Prep. Oh no. Oh, and he just squeaks it out. Wow, we have a corner kick just over a minute to go. I mean,
and you can see the Prep fans on the other side of the field. You'll see them come into picture soon, all gathering in that corner for this corner kick.
Great spot, Lewis, and a decent ball in.
That was a great ball in.
Darien have to be careful not to commit a foul, and they don't. As the ball goes out for a goal kick. Lehan will breathe a sigh of relief as both managers likely breathing some sighs of anxiety. Sears high-fives Lehan, two players who have been of utmost importance tonight and throughout this whole season, bringing them to this point and potentially beyond.
Sears here just looking to get the ball as far up the field as possible.
And does. Great
header one.
McElhose. Gilhooly trying to get that ball, but just gives it up. We have 13 seconds to go. Oh, man. Just under 5. And as the clock winds down, hold the phone. We will be heading to penalty kicks. Wow.
Damian Andrew jumping back on the broadcast. Eric Hannigan, a little birdie just texted me and said you were a very good penalty kick player back in your heyday. In all seriousness, what does it take to convert these?
Yeah, so I think that birdie is probably referring to the penalty kick against West Hill in the FCIAC playoffs. Really, the factors that come into play. I remember walking up to that spot. You have your place in the net picked out ahead of time. You have no hesitation about that spot. You know where you're going to put it, and you do not change your mind. I took the initiative to kind of look at the grounds, not look at the goalkeeper. They're going to want to set you off with their antics beforehand. Really, when you hear that whistle, you have one thing in mind, and that's to slot that thing home.
And what Eric missed on that part of the story was that the scoreboard actually started malfunctioning. So Eric had to wait about a good 30 seconds, perhaps close to a minute, standing over that ball before he took it. So a real test of mental strength there, and he sure passed.
So here's another thing. I am not a soccer purist by any stretch of the imagination like the two of you are. Do you like games being decided like this? I do, but I know a lot of soccer purists don't. You play 60 minutes, or 80 minutes, and then the 2 10s,
yep.
Right? And we still don't have a winner, so now we've got to decide it with penalty kicks.
It's not a fair way
to determine
lose.
A winner.
Yeah, but it's just you have to have a winner. It's the laws of the game, and that's just the way it is.
I would say it's fair but cruel. That's probably a contradiction. But, again, Damien, you said you have 100 minutes of football that you're playing. if you can't score then, at some point you have to decide it. And I think in certain tournaments, I
Right.
believe the FCIAC finals, they actually have stopped doing penalty kicks because of the significance of that. And obviously, you know, at this level, at this age, a loss and missing a penalty kick at that could be crushing. So
Well, in the FCIAC Field Hockey Championship the other night at Brian McMahon, Staples, Darien play 2 overtimes. That's sudden death, so golden goal essentially.
Yeah.
And then they crowned co-champs for the conference. There's no penalty strokes in field hockey, both in the conference and in the state tournaments.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, and it just goes to show, you know, how interesting the whole FCIAC sporting world can be, to see games like this early on, even before the primary state playoffs, to get a shootout here. I mean, look at the teams, both sides, just so passionate, so united. You see the fans grouping. Likely will be switching ends depending on where they're taking the shots. But everyone just on their feet here, as we are, our frozen ice blocks, I call them now, for what could be a very exciting and very sad night. Just depends on what team will have what reaction. As it looks like the penalty kicks will be taken to our left, towards the woods here at Stadium Fields, and the opposing fans both running towards that ends to make their voices heard.
And so too the Prep fans as well.
This is the type of action you can only have on DAF Media, Lewis.
This is true. It's true.
We're happy to be a part of it tonight and making this call.
And we wish the team who comes through this the best of luck as they travel up to Glastonbury this weekend and look to make a run at the dance.
So it looks like the tale of 3 keepers was a work of fiction. John Bradley is staying with Lehan in net. So it'll be the 2 goalkeepers that we've seen in action tonight. And it looks like John has opted for Charlie Sears to take the first penalty, and I think that's a wise decision. He's the one who slotted home the penalty in game today. You really just want to set the tone. You want to get one on the board and, you know, make a statement. And I think Darien have the benefit here, where Prep are under pressure if Darien makes it.
Now, if you're Charlie Sears, you going the same way?
Yep, I think you have to. I haven't seen his penalties too much, but I presume he has a favorite side, and you really just have to stick with that. But I think that's a great point. You know, it really comes into head games here as we see Fairfield's goalie doing a variation of the Macarena in net.
Yeah, I mean, even it doesn't necessarily matter what side he's going to go. Where he put it on that first one was almost unsavable.
Here we go. Charlie Sears open for business. Oh, look at that.
Slots it.
Slots it top right.
Beautiful penalty from Charlie Sears, and that's exactly what you want from one of your leaders of the team. You see the instant replay here. Calm, cool, and puts it top bins.
This is number 11, Connor Moore for Fairfield Prep, lining up to match Charlie Sears.
Save from Lehan.
And John's tactics have worked out. I'm sorry, at this level, you do not go up the middle with the penalty. Lehan just has to hit the floor and get behind that, and he does that so well. Credit to him. We see Will Henry Harmon, number 23 for Darien, looking to grab Darien's second.
Calmly slots it home.
And what a big penalty for Darien. We see the reverse angle. I mean, he just rolls that one. You're not saving that. Even if Prep's goalkeeper goes the right way, well placed. Well done to Will Henry Harmon on such a big stage.
And Prep desperate to get on the board here. Cool, calm, puts it home to the left side of the net there. You see the replay here. Exactly what they needed to get back in this. Lehan diving the right way. Just couldn't get there. And just about in.
Wow. I mean, talk about cutting it close. Oh, my.
Blasting it.
Oh, right off the crossbar and in. That is big for Darien.
Yep, you'll want to give that crossbar a kiss later.
It's Prep.
Cannot afford to miss another here.
Just 3-1 Darien. Oh.
Dove the right way. Strong penalty.
Talk about a cannon there.
Replay here again from behind the net. Oof. Lehan almost had that one.
Darien up 3-2, I believe. Opportunity to go up 4-2. Holly.
Slots. Just about.
This is 100% so far from the spot tonight. Jack Hawley, a standout player in the first 80 minutes. Goes to the goalkeeper's left. Oh, just under his foot. He'll have to be disappointed. And I believe this is number 9 for Prep. Trevor Knisely. He needs to make this. Another powerful penalty kick. So we should get the reverse angle. Watch this as it just flies into the net.
Really put his boot behind it there.
That is so nice.
Once again, right down the middle.
Wow, and this is, I believe this is to win it.
And that's it.
The Darien Blue Wave go crashing into the CIAC tournament. A win in penalty kicks as they rush over to the crowd. What a huge night for Darien.
Absolute scenes here at Darien High School Stadium Field. It's what you love to see. And Darien will advance.
Wow, and we'll see the winning penalty here from Vetter, the captain. This is truly a captain's penalty. Slams that. You are not saving that. I am sorry. That is well placed. And Darien just have so much to celebrate tonight, as now they get to try and take on number 1 Glastonbury and prove them wrong.
Absolutely.
How big is this? How big is this? How big is this in terms of momentum going up against now the top seed? I would imagine this is, you know, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, well, what's, you know, Glastonbury, they wouldn't have had, you know, a game going into this. So Darien has an opportunity to ride some momentum, and also, you know, to upset them, to catch them on their heels. You know, it'll be a big upset. But these boys can play. They've got grit, and you know they showed that on a night like this.
I think grit is the perfect word for this Darien performance tonight. I think for much of the game, including extra time, they were not the stronger side. However, I think a win in penalties almost gives them more momentum going into that next round. This is such a dramatic win in such great fashion in front of your home fans. They will want to continue this drama and this excellence pushing forward. They just need to know that their performance in regular time needs to be better if they want to have a chance.
Want to give a shout out to our DAF Media production crew in this kind of weather. The conditions cold here in southwestern Connecticut. Our camera 1 operator, Andrew Banks. Our ISO camera operator, Jack Kelly, making his DAF Media debut. And our director, instant replay coordinator, Connor Fagan, doing a terrific job. Eric and Lewis, can't thank you enough. Great call. What a matchup between Fairfield Prep and Darien and the Blue Wave, the home team. They hold serve and will advance, as you just mentioned, to the first round of the Class LL state tournament against Glastonbury. As we take a look at Captain Charlie Sears right there, he got things started with the conversion of the first penalty kick. Final thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, you know, this game was exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's extremely tight, and both teams really went for it, and it went right down to the wire all the way to penalty kicks, and Darien was able to get through it. But, you know, one of those games that really could have gone either way, but a real treat in the end, a lot of drama. But, yeah, no, it was Wave advances.
Well, Eric, Lewis, I want to thank you again, Eric Cannigan, Lewis Clark. Tremendous work out of them on this cold Saturday night. So for our entire DAF Media crew, Andrew Banks, Connor Fagan, Jack Kelly, I am Damian Andrew, for Eric Cannigan and Lewis Clark. This has been a production of the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. Darien advances in state play on penalty kicks, beating Fairfield Prep. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.